Hey guys, Dr. Josh at Stanky Family Chiropractic, and today we are talking about ear infections. So we see kids with ear infections year round, and sometimes adults as well, not just during the winter time, but especially at this time of year. And we get a lot of questions on, Doc, what are the different options for ear infections? Do I have to do antibiotics? Is that the only option? How does chiropractic help? And how do we help our kids with this thing, or how do I help myself with ear infections? So we absolutely see good results with chiropractic care and ear infections. We see some really good results as far as healing them up and preventing them as well. There are lots of different options other than antibiotics, especially naturally, to help our kids with ear infections. And so I'm just going to walk through some of those here today. One of the things I want to point out to you up on this chart, this is our NeuroFuse box, and we use this a lot with lots of different things to show patients that where the body is being affected by certain symptoms and where that is helped in the body. And so when we talk about ear infections, I'm going to just kind of highlight this. This is the ear, nose, and throat system up here, the inner and middle ear, that's the tissue and organ glands in this area, and immune system deficiencies and ear and sinus infections, all affected up here and the upper neck. So the upper cervical spine, the neurology, and the systems that are up in this area coming out of the head and the upper neck are really important to this particular subject of ear infections. This is the area that we're typically going to be checking and adjusting specifically in kids or adults if they're suffering with ear infections or if they're fighting a current ear infection. And so that's going to be really, really important. Chiropractically speaking, a lot of times that's where we're checking. Usually when someone has an ear infection, they notice some different symptoms like fever, pain in the ears, obviously, redness in the ears, fussiness, and difficulty sleeping. So when our kids are doing those kind of things, we suspect this thing, ear infections. Interestingly enough, I want to point out that the same symptoms can arise during teething. Now I say that because it's important to know that just because our kids are pulling on their ears, have redness in their ears, have a fever, are fussy or not sleeping well, it doesn't mean it's an ear infection. That's not necessarily a foolproof ear infection by having just those symptoms, because teething can actually cause all of those things. Keep that in mind. The other thing is typically when our kids have those things, we might go to the doctor. The doctor will look into their ears. They'll see redness and say, yep, it's an ear infection. And usually the line of defense at that point, the treatment at that point is an antibiotic like amoxicillin. The important thing to note about this is that ear infections can be caused by different things, not just bacteria. A virus, and a lot of times in some of the research shows that more times than not, viruses cause ear infections. And if that's the case, an antibiotic actually is not going to be effective in treating that. So a virus is not treated by an antibiotic. Keep that in mind, because if it's a viral cause that our kids have an ear infection for, then we're giving them an unneeded antibiotic that will not help the situation. So how do we help the situation? And really, what's the best line of defense? There are times that I understand that an antibiotic may be needed, but most of the time, and our kids have actually never needed it, got to that point, but most of the time, we can treat it with natural, very natural and less invasive techniques. One of the things that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, if you go to their website, search ear infections, you'll actually see one of the first things that they suggest is watchful waiting. Watchful waiting is when we actually give the body 2 to 3 days to heal on its own. And that's one of the most important things. The body's immune system is amazing if we give it a chance to heal. Now we want to help to promote that, so letting our kids get rest, plenty of water, and doing some things to keep them feeling better, at least during the time that they're healing, is what we suggest. Now, what are some of the things that we can do to help them feel better? Because we actually don't suggest doing chemicals and medications. What we do suggest are things like a salt sock. Let me explain what that is real quick. A salt sock is, we take an old sock, we fill it with coarse ground sea salt, we warm it slightly, and then we put it on their ear, to the ear that's painful, to relieve some of the pressure and some of the pain. Works very effectively, no chemicals involved. We use some different ear drops and ear oils, all natural essential oils, garlic, some different herbs that we actually use as an ear drop. And you can check your local herb shop or natural health food store for some of those things, or you can message us if you want more information on those things. Very, very effective, no chemicals, no medications, and allowing the body to still heal on its own without affecting that healing process. So a few different ideas to think about. Chiropractic adjustments we absolutely think are vital to keeping the immune system and nerve system working correctly and getting you over those thicknesses and your kids over those thicknesses as fast as possible. So anyway, that's kind of our tips on ear infections. Consider those different options and ask those questions next time your kid is kind of going through those situations, and I hope that they're healing up well. God bless you guys.